Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I might change it up a little bit. I might stamp some on this white oval. But let's play together and see how it comes out. Okay, so I've got Bermuda Bay ink, Tuxedo black ink, and I've got Pear Pizzazz out just in case I choose to use it. I have Butterfly Brilliance. I've already previously stamped and then die cut out a whole bunch of butterflies because I cut them out all at once. And I'm using one of those. Because I was playing with my stamp and die, so I've used both the stamps and the Brilliant Wing dies to cut those out. Okay. I'm using Vine Design. I'm using this flower here and the sentiment, and I might use this one here. Then I'm using the layering ovals. I'm using the second and the third from the largest. I'm using Wrapped Flowers dies. I'm using all of these ones out of the dies. The vines, and this little flower here I cut out of Bermuda Bay, so I might add some of those on there. I'm using the Coastal Weave 3D embossing folder. I don't even know if this is still current, but that's what I used. Okay, so I've already cut out all the little greenery out of fiddle. Out of Garden Green. I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but for some reason it wasn't coming to me. And I've got these already stamped and cut out, but I'm going to show you how I did it. These are those little flowers from the, these ones, from the Wrapped Flower dies. Okay, let me put those aside. I've got my butterfly. I've got a 1/2-inch strip of Pool Party, and this is 2.5 inches. I have the third from the largest oval cut in white, second from the largest oval cut in rich razzleberry. I have a scrap of Pool Party to stamp those flowers on. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of rich razzleberry, which I have run through the Coastal Weave embossing folder. I have my card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored and folded at 4 1/4, and then I have a piece of the Garden Green that I've cut already all those leaves out of. I'm not going to use all of them. I just been playing, so that's what I've got. Okay, so let's get started here. First thing I'm going to do, I've already stamped and cut out my butterflies just because you get 6 at once, so when you're practicing I ended up with a whole bunch of butterflies. So first thing I'm going to do is take this flower here and the Bermuda Bay ink, and I'm going to stamp 3 of those. Just inked up my stamp pad, so hopefully it's not too inky, but inky enough. It still doesn't come out great. I re-inked it because I couldn't get a good stamping. Let me show you how I fixed it. Let's hold it there for a few minutes or a few seconds and see if that helps. I need 3 of them. Okay. And what I did is I brought in the Stampin' Right marker, the water-based marker, and I just did this little, color it in just to add a little bit of detail and to make this a more solid image. Okay, so I just colored it in with the Stampin' Up marker, and then I used the coordinating die and cut them out. I've already done that just for the sake of time, but that's these right here. In fact, these two I cut out with the die. This one I just fussy cut out because I forgot there was dies at first. Okay, so I've got those. I'm going to take this 1/2-inch strip of Pool Party and the Hello stamp. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right in the center of this. Okay. And I'm going to bring in my snips. I'm going to flag this. I want it to be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to trim it first. Just a little bit. Okay. I need to clean my scissors. The pieces I'm cutting off is sticking to them. So I'm going to cut into the center. And then I'm going to cut from this outside corner to that bottom of that slot that I just cut. I'm going to do that on both ends. Gives me a nice deep fishtail. It's not perfect, that's fine too. Okay, so I got that piece. Okay, now let's color in this butterfly. And for that I'm using a few blends. I've got the light and dark Bermuda Bay and light Pretty Peacock, and then I have dark Balmy Blue just in case I need it. Okay, so what I'm going to bring the darkest one, which is Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to color closest to the body here with this Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to take the next color, which is the Bermuda Bay Dark. I'm going to start, and I'm going to, oh, this one actually looks darker than that one. So let's do this one over this area. Going right over what I did and then extending out a little bit farther. And I'm going to go in with the light one. Fill in the rest of the wings. And I think I'm going to bring in a different color because I want a little bit of a deeper blue. I want it to be some Bermuda Bay, but I want down in here to be darker. So almost done here, sorry. I'm not talking either. I'm going to go ahead and go over this body. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in Light Night of Navy. Because I want a little bit of darker color down here towards the body. A little bit of a bluer color. That's better. That's what I'm after. I'm just doing flicking motions. I'm just flicking in the color. Okay, and that's it. So I ended up using the light and the dark Bermuda Bay, light Pretty Peacock, and light Night of Navy. Okay, now we can assemble this card. I'm going to just, well, it's still a little bit damp, bend it at the wings, makes it bend a little bit easier. Just kind of curl it over my finger a little bit. Try not to crease it. This is a scrap of heavy, so it doesn't crease as well, or fold as well without creasing. Okay, let's bring in this. I'm going to go ahead and mount this piece to the front of my card base. Let's use the Stampin' Seal. There's going to be an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around because it's a 1/4 inch smaller than the front of the card. Okay, now we're going to bring in our oval that's the same color. And I'm going to adhere that right to the front of the piece. The reason I did this is then it gives you the appearance of a partial embossing. You can make partial embossing by die cutting out a bunch of layers and gluing them together, and then when you run it through the embossing folder, this part won't be embossed, just the part where the die cut is, but it's a little bit tricky to get them lined up, so this gives you a similar effect without all the extra work. Okay, now I'm going to try and stamp on this, so let me bring in a scratch paper. I'm going to see how this looks. I'm not sure I'm going to like it, but I got an extra oval just in case I don't. Ink that up in Pear Pizzazz, the vine. Make sure it's good and inked. I'm going to see if I can get this stamped on there. Okay, not bad. Alright, let's see how we like it. That there. I'm going to bring in my tray of all my pieces. The butterfly's going to go here. I'm going to bring in some of these vines. I got a couple different ones because there's more here than I used on the last one. Fit in all these little pieces, do a dry run, so you kind of get an idea where, how you like it. Let's see, let's put one of these. This one. Over here. Now I've got this piece here. I've already cut off the tip of it, so let's try that one in here. I want this side a little bit lower, so let me take this one out. Let's bring in this one. Okay, the hello's gonna go here. Okay, then we're gonna come in with those flowers. Let's see if we want to add any of these little ones. If I can pick them up. Maybe it's too much. What do you think? Should I do it with that stamped background? I think I like it better without the stamped background. So I'm going to bring in this one. That's how I play. I just play and see. I like it better without this being stamped. Now I could just turn it over. But I already stamped another one. Or cut out another one. So okay, I think I like that. So let's glue everything down. Let's start by gluing down my oval. Layer that up on top of this one. This is going to go across. We might as well put it down. Okay. I'm going to put a dimensionals on the backs of the wings. Let me find some of those. And I use wet glue for this part. A little bit of, oh, I never did open this one the other day. And this is how I get it open. Just have a T-pin. Pulls out that yucky. I have a little magnet I stick the T-pin on, so I know where that is. Okay, I don't want to glue it down hard yet because I want to be able to tuck things underneath it. Oh, maybe I'll just wait. Let's do this part. We'll just glue these things down. Come in with my wet glue. Little dabs will do ya. I want stuff on this side to be taller. You're never going to get two exactly the same unless you pick it up with the press and seal or something like that. Every time you do it, it's going to come out different. Every time. Okay. This one over here. You could use glue dots for these leaves. That would work too. I want this one in there too. I like this one. Okay. Now let's put our butterfly. Just going to go right there. Okay. Now we can do these larger flowers. You could have stamped these onto white paper, but I liked having the pool party because then the centers had that little bit of color. I'm going to pull these out a little bit. They're tucked in there a little too far. One thing about the wet glue that I like, it gives you that little bit of wiggle room. This one here. Let's add these teeny tiny flowers, a couple of them around. I did like that scattering. Do one more little one on this side. No, not there. Maybe down here. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to come in with these little black gems. It's a strip of them I've cut off. I'm going to actually peel the whole strip off the plastic. And then I'm going to, here's my snips, put them away. And then I'm going to cut them individually apart. You can just pick them apart. And I'll put one in the center of each one of these large flowers. Now the ones that Stampin' Up! Sells are much easier to use. Because they're adhesive backed individually. They're not strips. I'm going to put one on his head. Couple on his body. One there. One there. Come on. One down here. And the last one. Stuck to my finger. I had a lot of glue on my fingers. I'll trim this extra tape off of it. There we go. There's the card we just made together. I added those extra little flowers. Here's the one I did previously. Which one do you prefer? Well, thank you so much for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.